Good evening. Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the Think Show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so called Black African American didn't find themselves coming to America in the bottom of a ship. You've been standing in your own home for far too long. And it's being ignored. I mean, the truth is exploding out. It's out there. You can't go nowhere without everybody talking about it. You know why everybody's talking about it? Because they know it's true. Where else in the world are you going to go and search their history and find you? What the African American does is take the history that people give him, and he thinks he's smart and is embarrassingly not. So, we're going to talk about how we stop getting to we get grabbing that goal we that eludes us. Why we're not able to get it, because we have, some people call them gatekeepers, some people call them toms. You can call it whatever you want to, but the person that I'm talking about, or the people or the beings that what I'm talking about, their whole objective is to make sure that the indigenous people of America never regain their mind, soul, mental, everything back. That's their job. And all you got to do is talk to them, and you'll see. Joining me tonight, all the way from the Eastern Shore from Virginia, this sister has been putting in work in the community, y'all, being a light for all of us. You may not get what she's saying, but your grandchildren will. Make sure they get this. Make sure they get the word. Listen to what this woman is saying. You can't refute it. You can get mad and do it, all that. But listen to what these kids are screaming today. Listen to what they're saying. And you can't run and hide nowhere, because it's the truth. Check out how many of us are running from the truth. It's right in your face. You can't refute it. That Washington Redskin helmet, that's why they got rid of it. To get rid of you. To get rid of you. So pay attention to the words being said, because it's not about the land, it's about you. You're the natural resource. And many of you run and call yourself of other things, Black, African. You call yourself anything but what and who you are. And that's a problem. And we're going to talk about that tonight. So joining me all the way from the eastern shores of Virginia, Lisa Cypress. How you doing, Lisa? Now you disappear on me. But it's cool. We're going to keep it going. So check this out. So the picture you see in the thumbnail is of a so-called Black African American clown. Always keep laughing, always giggling. Because, like they say, laughter is the best medicine when it's given in the right dosage. And what clowns do, they make sure that the people never stop laughing to realize their potential. Lisa, you back?
I'm back. I was muted.
It's cool. How you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you doing?
Man, you ever see that Spike Lee movie when they were all in college?
Yeah, what was that called?
It was
School days?
School Days. And the
School
guy
days.
said, the guy, this is how I feel. The, the guy said, all this potential, being wasted. That's how I feel. You know,
That's
I'm
the way you
serious.
can look at the
I'm,
world. Say it again.
oh
Say it
man,
again. Oh,
oh
that's
my
so
God. Just
wow.
wait again. And I think it's done on purpose
Right?
because where things are going and where you should be trying to go since you landed on this planet is
Right.
to move up, move on beyond where you are now. That's what your
Elevate.
mother strive for. That was your father strive for. That's what your grandmother strive for. That's what your granddaddy strive for to be better. That's why they had a lot of kids at the time because they needed the hands. It's not about the kids. They made us hate that, which broke the family up. And every single one of y'all know what I'm talking about.
Facts.
The hands. The hands. Shit, you got 13 kids. You got 26 hands. What? What can you do with
Mm.
that? And that's the way your ancestors used to think. They weren't sitting and listening to what people were telling them to do. They were using their ingenuity, their minds, their resources, what they had, what they could do, what they can invent, wherever your
Mhm.
people lived, whoever
Right.
they are. They mastered some of the natural resources there. We don't even talk about that. That's not even a context in the so-called pretendian movement. Well, I mean, what the people do? I mean, what were the resources? Were they logging up and down the lakes?
Mm.
Were they shipping peaches from Georgia to Kentucky? I mean, not those, not that those were those names then, but you know, the distance, how these rivers intersect,
Hmm.
all these rivers, Alabama River, Ogeechee River, Ohio River, all these damn rivers.
Right.
Before you were bought cars, you were on that. Why we
Right.
stopped? Why we stopped?
Disconnected from the earth. Disconnecting us from the earth.
Why we stopped? And then and you know some Negroes will get arrogant with it. I'm not part of the earth. I'm part of Jesus. We still there. We
Because they're
still
always
there.
using distractions. Right. Right.
You always using what?
Distractions. You know,
Yeah,
they're
I mean,
always zoning in on our attention deficit, you know.
oh man, oh man,
They're always distracting us, man, and we always are going for the distraction. We're always falling for it. The banana in the tailpipe.
every
We're always doing
oh my God. Let me go pull that banana out the tailpipe.
it.
So these people to me, so if you really look at a clown, how the face is made up and is really something sinister about that. You know,
Mhm.
really something sinister
Facts.
because while there's a fire going on over here, you sitting back laughing, you sitting back
Clowning.
clowning
Clowning.
in front of your children like they ain't there.
Mm.
What do you think they're going to teach their children?
Yeah.
We don't want to talk about that.
No.
So, these guys are clowns. Nothing's funny. You walk into any grocery store, all you're eating is bioengineered food. That's something that should be ignored to the average Negro, yes.
Why?
Like you said it.
Why do we ignore everything? Is it just is it that heavy? Is it that hard?
Uh,
As the grandchild would say, is it hard?
right, right. I mean, can't even say when we were wrong. And soon as you say that, you start being right. We don't even go on that aspect of nothing. Nothing the way of thinking.
The ego's in the way. The ego,
is that what it is?
That ego is like, it's really massive, man. And everybody's importante. Everybody got to be importante. Like me first. Me first.
Yeah.
That whole mentality's been programmed into this. Everybody wins. Everybody's a winner. Everybody's first. Everybody's opinion is important. Ego, 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 ego. Nobody sits down. Nobody listens. Nobody wants to cooperate.
That's a problem, right there.
No compromising.
Compromise? Do I think we're compromising? And ladies and gentlemen, when we say we as a group, we mean the so-called in this geographical area that we're talking the United States. Because remember, your ancestors didn't use borders and stuff. It wasn't called Canada then. It wasn't called Louisiana then. These states are made up by the immigrants that come here and just slap the shit out of you and take your land. And you walk around the rest of the world because you are an extension of your great granddaddy. You're still here. That's all. You're just an extension of your people. That's all. Your mom and daddy live in you. I'm right. We have even taken that aspect of life and trashed it. You're an extension of your great grandfather. Your great grandmama. Shit, you was in her the same time your mama was. You know, not in this form, not there. You were evolving. And when you guys really check out evolvement and the Indian, the so-called Indian, when you look at the evolving, look at where they come from. Look at what was there on the ground and look what's on the ground now. You want to do some genealogy? What was your people doing? Where did they live? What iron pits did they live by? What coal mines did they live by? What did they do? When we do genealogy, do we trip on that? What did they eat? What was the main crop that was grown around them? And is it the same crop now? Because remember, the minerals that they ate, they passed on to you. You do know that, right? So let's not get just stuck one-sided. Look at the whole gamut. Look at the environment they created, the environment that they lived in. And just to let somebody come in and piss it all away and kill you while they're doing it, and you act like this to run away from it. You act like the clown.
Show that clown again.
I mean,
let me show
seriously. Yeah, so you act like the clown. You know, ain't nothing funny. Ain't nothing funny. And if you've seen what the stores throw away in food at night, the next person that comes begging for something to eat, they can't even say that no more. It is so much it's so much food.
The waste. Right.
The waste.
Right. We are
Wasted.
in abundance. Wow. Talk
Wasted.
about it. Say it again.
Yeah, wasted.
Wow.
It's just wasted. It is so much food. Check it out. It's so much food being thrown away. Remember they used to have people called dumpster divers. Remember that term?
Right.
People who used to go in the trash can to get food. And I've been around dumpster divers. I haven't done it, but I've been around them and I've seen the food that they get. Ain't nothing wrong with that shit. Ain't nothing wrong with it. It's just thrown away. Instead of giving, just put it on the park. Hire some people who this Doge is firing, pick up some of them and box up food just to give it away. It ain't no hunger here. It's waste. It's waste.
Waste.
And the
Waste and
cold.
greed.
So I asked one of the managers at one of the store. I say, how come you don't give it away? You know what he said?
Mm.
He said, we tried that, but people wanted to sue us because they said something was wrong with the food. And you know what you can't say? You have to be like, well, damn, I understand. Because motherfuckers that do that. You know, they'll do that.
Well,
Somebody's giving you something, and you're gonna try to act like, huh?
you. I mean, we got paperwork.
You said what?
What is that about? I said if people are trying to litigate against you for giving away the food and claiming that it's bad, have them sign that right away. Make sure that you legally have them sign that you are taking this food at your own risk. Just use the proper paperwork. That's all it requires. I mean, you act like we don't all every day do things that people are doing at a high risk, and we don't have ways of releasing us from liability. Bull crap. That's bull crap. That is, you know what I mean? I think they just want people to suffer. They want people to pay. They want people to suffer. We are in a world that is being dominated by a people, by a not I don't know if this is a people, but an entities that don't have any kind of natural caring, no protective nature, no caring. It's not there. It's absent. All there is in its place are greed, ego, and a need to control. What do you think? Are you there? You're muted.
I'm not muted now.
You're muted. Oh, good. Yeah,
Am
there you go.
I unmuted now?
What do you think?
What
Yeah,
I
I hear
think
you.
about
Go
what?
on. Tell me what you think about the fact that people we're in a society that is dominated by people that are full of greed. They have no natural sense of caring, and they have a enormous need for control and gigantic narcissistic egos.
They're clowns.
Yes, they are
I
clowns.
mean, I mean, I mean, t- that's what they are,
Right.
and you can see it.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. A lot of things about where your parents are from. What did they grow up around? What were the animals they grew up around? You come out of that. You have that in you. That was developing when the world was developing through your grandmother, through your great grandmother.
Hmm.
We're not like that now. We're clowns.
Hmm.
Every aspect, every aspect. What did Neely Fuller used to say? The 9 areas of human activity.
Say it again. The
The
nine
nine
areas of
areas of human activity.
okay.
Clowns. It's
Mm.
clowns. I mean, that's all. I mean, uh, so spoke to a young lady last night, and she was like, Trump is gonna shut down the Department of Education.
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, that could be some money saved.
Mm.
And
Right. I feel the
she
same
she
way.
she she, she didn't understand it. And I'm like, are you serious? The United States is 40th in the world in education. It lags behind 39 other countries. And you cool with that? You cool and those 40 countries, these are schools like Yale and all of them.
Hmm.
Other people, you know, learn the world, learn their environment, and work with their environment to, you know, live life. The Negro,
Hmm.
his land, he don't have it. He rents his own land from somebody else. So when you talk about African Americans, when you talk about black clowns, that's what they do. Divert your
Hmm.
attention from being what you are. You're a natural resource. You're like a tree. You're like a
Right.
moving tree. Your children are like
Hmm.
moving trees. That's the energy they possess. These
Hmm.
cats, these clowns, they're not into that. They're not into that. So that's what I mean by a
Hmm.
clown.
Yeah.
You can call it a minister, you can call it a professor, you can call it a doctor. So that's the doctor I saw when they was telling everybody to get that jab. That's what I saw. This is what I see when I see all these pundits, and I don't even know the media anymore, so it's kind of hard to talk about it. But people talk to me about it, and I'm like, you're paying attention to something that has nothing to do with you. Nothing. Imagine the information
Right.
giving to the media more so than we give to ourselves. Imagine that. What we learn
Right.
about ourselves, other people from other places tell you that's who you are. Don't have to be, it ain't got got nothing to do with you because you don't pick up on what your grandmama said. You don't pick up on what she said because they told you from somewhere else. Got you running around here
Right.
like a chicken with your head cut off. While the world does what they want to do to you. And your ancestors, you like talking about my great grandfather was Geronimo. My great great grandfather was Pocahontas. My great 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 grandmama was Petra Freeman. Who were they? Who were they? Okay, so those were your people. What would they say about what you're doing now? Let's talk about that. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, okay, you can say whoever. You can say whoever. What would they say what you doing now? Now
Right.
nobody want to talk. I gotta go to bed. It's my bedtime.
That's a fact.
So I mean, I don't know no better way. The the men, the image says it all. The image says it all. Clowns got you
My
paying
thing about
attention.
the clowns are
You said what?
the fear. My thing about the clowns are the fact that these kind of minstrel show leaders that we have, whether it's whether it's people that are in social media, people on the day show, people on the news, people in politics. The main thing that they want to generate with our community is fear. Fear is all we get pushed at us. Oh, what is daggone so and so going to do to us? Oh, I mean, everything is about us being traumatized or victims or the
You
potential of
you
being a
just can't
victim.
do it. You
Oh,
just
they
can't
won't
do
let
it.
you. They won't let you. Oh,
Yeah.
they're not going to let you do that. Oh, you're not going to get that done. Oh, they ain't going to let that happen. You sound like a clown. But that's the way we are. We have to step in and fetch it.
What else? You're a clown.
I'm
What else?
aware,
You're a clown.
informed,
Oh, that's all clowns
but you're
can
still
do
a
is step
clown.
and fetch. That's all clowns do is step and fetch. What else do they know? They're clowns. You think they went to go learn to count or something. No, they've learned to step and fetch. They're clowns. You think those people at the circus, you don't think they practice for that shit?
Well, we're in full
They,
practice.
they,
The education
they
system, like the education system did you a favor, like they're doing
you
us a
know,
favor. Does anybody feel like the education system is, wow, we need all those layers in order for us to function? We need all these daggone structures in order for us to function. We need every daggone bureaucrat in Washington, D.C. in the building, and everybody sitting around pushing nothing, promoting
hey man,
nothing, creating
hey
nothing,
man.
making nothing better for the
Oh,
future, making our children into daggone incompetence. Only the people that get an education are putting their kids into charter or private schools because they know that what's provided ain't education, right? They know it. They know your
right.
child is not going to have a chance if you go into this system and expect your child to be educated, that they're not going to be provided education. That's why when immigrants come here, the first thing they do is they'll work an extra job to put their child in private school because
Why do you think it's
education
free?
education is indoctrinating you to be a servant, for you to be substandard. There is no, and then people are saying, well, they're gonna get rid of this, they're gonna segregation. They're gonna go back to segregation. You are segregated, fool. You are segregated, fool. You don't think that in every daggone indigenous neighborhood, indigenous Negro neighborhood, you got substandard damn everything? Substandard everything. Substandard roads, substandard utilities, substandard schools, substandard police services, substandard hospitals. Where's this? Where's the equality, baby? Where's the equality? Show me where it's equal. You think you
They
got
take
desegregation? You know what you got? You know, let me tell you what kind of desegregation you got, baby. You got desegregation where you can give them your money. Oh, they want your money. That's what kind of desegregation you got. Go ahead.
and let's not forget this. You know how they always saying that you're the minority, you're only 13% when you come from women who had multiple births. You come into the place where the people have been since time memoriam. How do you make them the immigrant and you're coming from another place? Explain that. We don't even talk about that. We can't figure it out. You know why? The screen, clowns. clowns. Their job is for you to take your eye off of what's important. That's why they wear loud colors. That's why they wear the curly, nappy hair, curly hair. That's why. So you will look at them. The hair on you serves a purpose. That's trying to take you away, dyeing the hair purple and yellow and blue, you know, to distract you. That's what the purpose of a clown is. He's in the king's court. He's a court jester. His job is to keep the
Mhm.
people's mind off of what's really going on right now. Throw some glitter over there. They'll 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 flock to that. That's what a clown is. That's what a clown is. And the smuttier and shittier and the kind of person you are comes out into your act. Yeah, have we seen it? You know, you think of the music that you have trampled. Just don't look at the music from when you was in the 90s to 2000 to 2010s to 70s. You got to look past all of that. You got to look at when they were sticking sticks with rubber bands in with the ants to make the ants dance. Your people used to do that. Your people used to do that. We've lost those things now because, and I'm not saying this is about everybody because it's not, because you have some brilliant minds out there. Unfortunately, we haven't built a platform for them to thrive. We always want to be on somebody else's platform, and everybody comes to watch the clown.
Are we gonna keep like following these political clowns, like these people that are trying to tell us the sky is falling? You know, the people that try to convince us that these political parties are separate and different. People that keep trying to make us think that there's bad guys and good guys, and which team are you gonna be on, and what they're gonna do. When we ought to know that the agenda is always united, and all they do is depending on the agenda, they're gonna pick a different player, a different performer to carry it out. That's what our government is made of. It's smoke, mirrors, and performance art. That's what it is. And the performance is to keep you under control, keep you sedated, keep you daggone manipulated, keep you confused, keep you off your daggone toes, keep you actually focusing and understanding what's really going on, to keep you distracted, confused, and not really seeing them for what they are.
And what they are is what they do. How does one man have $8 billion and you have countries where people eat once a month? Explain that. That's not in balance to people. That's not way off. And so when you say,
How do we have Negroes with all this wealth, with all this so-called opportunity, P Diddy's and dogs and all these assholes that are so rich? Jay-Z, what do they do? Do you understand? I always, even since I was a child, I always thought it only gonna take like a group of celebrities to change everything about everything that's wrong economically. You know what I mean?
so check this out. So
It would
this is how
change
bad that,
to just change our whole state. Hmm?
this is how bad that is.
Yeah.
Having
Go
some
ahead.
conversations with some brothers one night, just seeing how, ideas we can come across that we could do. What would be doable? And it's just like you said. My suggestion was you got all these cities around here with football teams, baseball teams, basketball teams. None of those cities, none of those players have came up with an idea yet. Like you said, you got the wealth, but you go buy Gucci bags and all that other stuff. Huh?
Right. Right.
Serious. I
Yeah.
mean, because you're clowns. You're clowns. Let's be honest about it. You're wearing somebody else's clothes from another country that they made in your grandmama's backyard, and they charge you $200 for a t-shirt, and you cool with it. Isn't that what's done?
That's what's done.
Aren't these states, especially in the South, huge land area where your folks used to live?
Mm-hmm.
Ran you off of it and took it over. And you sit up here when you talk. That's how we know that those are the pretendians. Huh? You're not changing these people's minds about themselves. Later for me, I'm nothing. I was raised down in the Alabama on the farm way back up in the woods. I was so raggedy the folks used to call me Patches. Remember that song?
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
that was the cut though. You got to, and that's what I mean. Music. How we've transformed through music. That song is different
Yeah.
than something you played 50s.
Mm.
You know, old. So the music changes. People change with people change with the music.
That they
What is
know about us. They know a lot about us. That is well known.
That's
Hence
well
we
known.
see that's well known. Hence we see the things that are
That-
occurring today. The trash that's being put out, the demoralizing, the this nothing. Just like making us vibrate as low as possible. Music
And we hope
that destroys your high vibration.
music that what it takes you on high and brings you low. If you notice that about the music, if you go back and listen to what your people said about music, what music is, no truer words were spoken. Go listen to the Stevie Wonders, the
Mm-hmm.
Aretha Franklin, the Al Greens. Listen to what these people are saying about certain things. The Marvin Gayes, the Gladys
Mm-hmm.
Knights. There's many, 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 many others too. But these were people that were pushed because their craft was so good. Listen to what those people said. Remember, they used to have those groups when you had 4 and 5 guys in a group? You don't have that no more. Why was that killer? Because those guys sang
You
in
know,
harmony.
but they it didn't take them a while to realize that the impact that they enjoyed it. See, I think the problem was when they first was like, okay, this music is great, in the 1900s, 1800s. Okay, yeah, they make great music. And we were still vibrating high
You breaking up.
Introduced to us like in different things to try. Oh, besides the stuff that was taking us down, like the heroin, Billie Holiday, and stuff like that, we were still winning. I mean, we were still striving. We were still successful in what we were doing. Not that we're not successful now, but what I'm saying is when they realized that our music was actually part of the culture that kept us winning, that kept us successful, that kept us united, that's when they decided, oh, we got to do something about the music. The music is how they stay united. The music is how they keep their morals together. It's how they keep their direction together. We got to do something about the music because the music is going to set the tone for how they actually are vibrating.
Right.
And then all was lost, man. And we as long as the beat is good, we're done.
I mean, but so I ask people, well, play me a beat.
And they can insert whatever kind of negativity into the music that they want. But the beat is good. People would say that even, I just heard somebody the other day, well, I'm trying to make some more positive music. And the guy was like, I like that trash music because when I'm working out, sometimes I want to hear, no, man, like the beat you might like, but the message is programming folks. And maybe you, as a successful, strong man with your own determination, you are okay listening to trash. But the majority of us are influenced heavily in a negative way by that low frequency. And we can't filter it off. Some of us can't filter it off. And that's the problem. You got to think not just of me, but of the ones lesser than you. The ones that have a struggle and keeping themselves in balance and directed. Those, you got to think about them, not just yourself. But see, that's the thing, is this ego, the selfishness, the spirit of that is just like, it's overwhelming and we must shake it. Diamond in the Rough Lawn Care says, today's music increases my heart rate. The older music touches my soul. Yeah, it increases your heart rate in a bad way, right? Oh, Carrie put you into the stylistics. Carrie and his music selection.
You want a cold song you've never heard? I bet you never heard. And this was a bad group. But you know how when they made the albums, they'll probably put like 8 songs on it, and probably the first 3 or 4 be number 1 hits, but you never hear the other 4. Remember how albums used to be like that?
The B-side. The B-side is
the B-side.
A lot of people don't even know that term. The B-side.
Right. The B-side.
Right.
The B-side of the B-side of the album or a record is some of the best music you'll ever hear. Because remember, a lot of the music people, a lot of the music, it was picked to put out. A lot of bands wanted to put out their own stuff, but since you were in their system and on their airwaves, and that's another thing that I'm saying, taking of your airwaves. These people have control of your airwaves. And what makes you stop thinking about it is the clowns. Listen to a song, and you remember this group. Listen to what this group is saying. Summer Snow by Blue Magic. You know Blue Magic, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Listen to a song they got called Summer Snow and tell me that ain't one of the baddest cuts you ever heard in your life. So, and these people, they spend days, weeks, months practicing to get the right note. These are just kids on the corner, practicing these instruments. When all the kids was out doing stuff, they was there practicing instruments. Of course,
Right. And then they took
there,
the instruments out of school, right?
and we're mad because
Don't
they're
let them play an
shutting down.
instrument. Mr.
If
Trash
we're in public,
Department of Education took the instruments out of school, got rid of recess in a lot of places and times, and took away all the activities that really stimulate and benefit you for the future. You don't learn anything to really succeed in life. How to daggone budget, how to invest. None of that stuff that's gonna really make your life better. They don't teach it.
right?
But playing instruments, the things it does for your mind, how it develops you, what it they want that to be erased.
They want to be erased. So you have to remember, your children, your grandchildren, whatever you have, start with that. Start with your grandchildren if you have to, and stretch it out over the length of time when all your ancestors were here. Look up, I'm serious. Look where they lived. Look what was the mineral deposits where they were. Look for the minerals that's in you. You can do your own blood tests. You only do, and see that's another problem. That's with the clown. He only does or she only does what somebody else tells them to do. They never figure out nothing for themselves. They're clowns. They do what the person who is paying them to wear that suit and that funny color hair, they're doing what they say. And by today's standards, you should be able to notice them on sight. They're clowns. Stop you from reaching what your potential. Keep you giggling and teeing and doing the hand bone. That's what they are. Woe is me. I can't win. They're clowns. And I don't care what area of life activity they're in, if it's religion, if it's education, if it's working together. How come you have no, with all this education and all this stuff you got going, uh, no black towns are being built? Come on. You got all these immigrants coming over here. I'm sure you feel some way about it. You may not talk about it. It may hurt your feelings. Where are the black towns being built? The African American towns, since you are African American. Well, huh? All this land you got. All this land you got.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Are we there? I don't see the chat. Hmm.
Yeah. Here. Can you hear us?
Hmm. Yeah, I see the chat. Are you
You
there?
you can you hear me?
It's probably me. Maybe.
Yeah, it is you.
Hmm.
So remember that
Sounds
about,
good.
not only yourself, but remember during the
Hmm.
years of your ancestors and your kin, the people
Hello?
who lived around. Yeah, can you hear us?
I'm gonna have to end this live.
So do that, on your genealogy. Pay attention to everything that's around. Where did they live? What was going on where they lived at the time? What were they mining for? Why was it so important to get you off the land? You need to know that stuff. That'll help guide you to where you need to go. Seriously. It'll have your kids looking at the world in a whole different way. Who are you? Where do you come from? Who are the people that you come from? When these people came to these shores, I guarantee you, your people didn't introduce themselves as black. I got $2 on it. I guarantee you that your people didn't introduce themselves as black. Did they? You can't stop saying it now. Why? Clown. You're written all over this place. All over this place. And you just simply ignore it. Don't pass that type of thinking on to your grandchildren, children, and children to come. Because they're an extension of you. And you'll find yourself standing in the same spot you were 200 years down the road. Find your folks. We'll see you next time. Peace.